Ever stop to think that the history you were taught might not be the whole truth? Crazy, right? We hear about empires, kings, conquests. But what about the lost city history tried to erase? The idea sounds like pure myth. But here's the kicker. Why did so many different cultures, oceans apart, tell the same story about a sunken civilization, only for it to vanish from the record books? Atlantis isn't just some bedtime tale. It's a paradox. The harder people try to prove it didn't exist, the more breadcrumbs seem to pop up, like history itself is playing hide and seek with us. And here's the wild part. What if what we call a legend is actually humanity's biggest untold secret? If that's the case, the reward is huge. Because understanding why an entire civilization disappeared might just give us the key to avoid repeating the same mistakes today. For centuries, maps and chronicles carried a name that now feels like fiction: Atlantis. It wasn't just a lost city whispered about in campfire stories, but a legit reference in explorers' journals and merchants' reports. Oddly enough, that name slowly faded away, like ink left in the sun, swapped out for less powerful terms. Almost like someone decided the memory had to be erased. Which begs the question, what was so dangerous about the mystery of Atlantis that it had to disappear? Travelers back then casually mentioned what they saw: carved symbols, matching architecture popping up across continents, even ocean-separated tribes sharing tales of a city swallowed by the sea. It's like when your grandma tells some unbelievable family story, and then you stumble across an old photo that proves every word. Those scattered fragments push us to consider that maybe Atlantis existed. And if it did, the reason it was buried might be more important than the disappearance itself. The deeper you dig, the louder the secrets of Atlantis start calling. If today the legend of Atlantis feels like a fairy tale, back then it was treated almost like geography. 16th century maps casually sketched unknown lands with jaw-dropping detail, as if somebody had already been there. Merchants spoke of this lost city like it was just another stop on their trade routes. Strange how documents once respected suddenly got labeled mistakes or fabrications. That kind of rewrite doesn't just happen. It smells fishy, doesn't it? Scholars point out eerie similarities between Central American temples and ancient Greek structures. Coincidence? Or evidence of a hidden root? It's like walking into a library and finding books in different languages all telling the same story under different names. That harmony screams, Atlantis existed. And when stories line up across continents, the secrets of Atlantis start to look less like fantasy and more like buried history waiting to break the surface. Walk through any big modern city, and tucked between glass towers, you'll spot monuments that feel way out of place. Massive arches, pillars, domes, engineering feats that scream something ancient. For many, they're whispers of the secrets of Atlantis. It's like strolling through Rome and suddenly stumbling on a facade that looks almost identical to temples found in pre-Columbian America. Pure coincidence? Yeah, right. Every stone feels like it's telling us that the lost city left fingerprints everywhere. Take the pyramids, for instance, Egypt and the Mayans. Worlds apart, yet both aligned to the stars, both raising questions that modern science still can't wrap its head around. Maybe it's just genius ideas repeating. Or maybe it's the shadow of knowledge passed down from Atlantis itself. If the legend of Atlantis really inspired those constructions, we're not talking about myth anymore. And we're talking about a civilization that shaped entire cultures. Which makes you wonder, how much of today's cities are quietly built over traces of Atlantis existed? Funny thing about history, some narratives are preserved forever, while others get scrubbed like they never happened. Atlantis falls into that second category. One day it's in reports and stories, the next it's dismissed as a hoax. That sharp cut makes you wonder, why did so many ancient cultures echo the same lost city, only for that chorus to be silenced? Maybe because the mystery of Atlantis carried answers that didn't fit the agenda. Think about real life. How many times have you learned later that something important was deliberately hidden? Like a cure, a truth, a piece of knowledge that could have flipped the game but got buried because it threatened someone's power. That's the vibe here. Atlantis isn't just about the past. It's about how truth itself can be edited. And if Atlantis existed, who stood to gain from making us forget it? Tug on that thread long enough, and who knows what unravels. Things don't just vanish from collective memory without a reason. The legend of Atlantis might have been silenced not because it was fiction, but because it was too real, carrying blueprints of power, science, even spirituality that scared those in control. Picture a society that knew how to tap into energies we still can't explain today, moving giant stones like they were Lego blocks. If that ever got proven, how many truths we accept would come crashing down? The mystery of Atlantis isn't just archaeology. It's a revolution waiting to happen. And this isn't just ancient history. We've all heard of inventors with groundbreaking ideas who suddenly vanished, or whose projects got buried. Same pattern. It's like the secrets of Atlantis are still alive, just kept out of reach. Which shifts the real question from, did Atlantis exist, to what's being hidden from us right now? That kind of thought flips curiosity into obsession real quick. Even though the lost city vanished from maps, its echoes never stopped ringing. Flood myths, heroes rising from the sea, sunken kingdoms, from ancient Greece to Native American tribes, the mystery of Atlantis keeps resurfacing in folklore. It's like the stories splintered into pieces across the globe, each one holding a clue. Together, they paint a bigger picture. Atlantis didn't just vanish. It left breadcrumbs for us to follow. Look closer and you'll see Atlantis all over pop culture too. Movies, music, video games. We keep recycling the legend of Atlantis because deep down, we can't shake it. That's not just nostalgia. That's memory refusing to die. If Atlantis existed, maybe the secrets of Atlantis never really left us. Maybe they've been hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to connect the dots. Just like old sailors followed the stars chasing unknown lands, today's explorers chase Atlantis with satellites, sonar, and submarines. Expeditions in the Atlantic, the Mediterranean, even deep in South America, all searching for that golden proof. And every time some ruins show up underwater, the mystery of Atlantis flares back up. Could we actually be inching closer to proving Atlantis existed? And here's the crazy part. It's not just scientists, adventurers with GoPros, treasure hunters with scuba gear, everyday dreamers. Everyone's chasing the secrets of Atlantis. It's like hunting for a needle in a haystack. but with the thrill that this needle could rewrite human history. That's why the search never stops. Because deep down, we all feel like the next big discovery might be just around the corner. The legend of Atlantis isn't just archaeology, it's psychology. The very idea of a lost city that rose and fell sparks both hope and fear. Hope, because it shows humans might have reached unimaginable heights before. Fear, because it also warns we might be walking the same doomed path. That's why the mystery of Atlantis feels less like myth and more like a mirror. Look at how belief drives people. One kid dreams of other worlds and becomes an astronomer. Another dives into philosophy after reading about ancient myths. Same with Atlantis. Just believing that Atlantis existed fuels curiosity, ambition, even rebellion against official history. The secrets of Atlantis don't just live in ruins, they live in people, nudging them to question everything. And that kind of spark is contagious. Here's the real kicker. Atlantis isn't only about the past. The mystery of Atlantis is a straight-up metaphor for now. Think about it. A brilliant society, super advanced, but swallowed by its own pride, greed, and power trips. Sound familiar? We live in a world where tech rockets forward, but basic values, they're slipping. The lost city is like a warning label on human history. If Atlantis existed and was destroyed by its own hand, then the secrets of Atlantis aren't just archaeological. They're prophetic. Look at the mess we're in. Environmental collapse, inequality, endless wars. It's the same playbook. Atlantis becomes less of a myth and more of a mirror, forcing us to ask, are we next? Every clue we find makes it feel like the lost city never wanted to disappear completely. The mystery of Atlantis lingers, poking us, daring us to dig deeper. It's like a half-open door. Most people walk by, but a few stop, push it open, and realize there's a whole hidden world waiting. And when you step through, you're not just studying the past, you're messing with the future too. And here's the truth. This isn't just about scientists in labs or archaeologists on digs. Anyone can chase the secrets of Atlantis by reading, questioning, connecting dots, refusing to settle for the official story. Because believing Atlantis existed is also believing that there are still massive truths out there waiting to be uncovered. Maybe the real gift of the legend of Atlantis is to remind us the unknown still holds the answers that could change everything. So now that you've journeyed through the mystery, here's the million-dollar question. What are you going to do with it? Shrug and call the legend of Atlantis just another bedtime story? Or use it as fuel to start questioning everything around you? If an advanced civilization could rise and fall, what makes us think we're immune to the same fate? Are we repeating their mistakes? The pride, the greed, the blindness? Maybe the secrets of Atlantis aren't ruins buried under the sea, but warnings written for us. Right here, right now. So I'll ask you straight. Are you going to ignore it or wake up to it? If this made you think, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stick around. Because this journey, oh, it's just getting started.